Guys, Tottenham Hotspur are in the final! I mean, I'm not being funny. After the season we've had, tell me how we pulled that off. Okay, I know what you're going to say. You're playing Bodo Glimt. Yeah, okay, cool. But you can only beat who's in front of you, mate. And all of us, me included, thought we would go out against Frankfurt. But we didn't. We had a really resolute performance against them. We did our job tonight. We were resolute. Again, 8-9 at the back, defended like a unit. It hasn't really sunk in yet. I've been absolutely buzzing around that studio tonight. Fully buzzing. And I was so nervous. And rightly so, because how could I trust them? Tell me, how could I trust Tottenham after what they put me through? But we've done it. We're in the final. And actually, I'm going to give credit where it's due. And I'll tell you for why. Because obviously we criticise Ange a lot, right? For not being tactically aware, not being tactically astute, not knowing when to change, being too stubborn. But actually, when it's mattered in this competition, we played completely different. We haven't played like the Tottenham that we all see week in, week out in the Premier League. We've been a defensive unit, we've been strong, we've been resilient, we've been resolute, we've weathered the storm. And I'll be honest with you, there were times in that game where Spurs did look a little bit under it. I say under it. There were certain periods, I thought the first 20 minutes Tottenham were great, really dominant, and, you know, had chances. And they didn't take those chances. And it was annoying me because I just thought, please don't let Bodo grow into this game. Because the first 20 minutes, they looked all over the place. Misplaced passes, trying to play out from the back. Tottenham had a really high press, winning the ball back. Keeper looked shaky, centre-backs looked shaky. And I thought, why are we not creating enough? Why are we not putting the ball in the back of the net? Please don't let this come back to bite us later on. And Bodo grew into the game. I think they had, going into half-time, I think they had 66% possession, which of course I don't really mind. I'm happy to give up possession if it means that we do our job, don't really care. It was a similar story last week, to be honest, as well. But I just feared, and I said it on the show, that's a very loud escalator, very loud. I said it on the show, I feared that Spurs would be Spursy, and if they didn't take their chances and Bodo got one back, that would be it. And let's be honest, our arseholes would go, because that's typical Tottenham. But they didn't do that, and I thought it was a really good performance from pretty much everyone. I understand why he went with Richarlison and why he went with obviously he would go with Solanke anyway, but again, it was kind of just to have that little bit more steeliness, hold the ball up, I guess, and also help out defensively. I thought maybe we would see Tell or Odobert start, because when we could then counter and break, it would give us that option to do so, with having that out ball, having the wingers. I've just missed my bloody train, I'm going to have to wait 15 minutes now. So I thought that I would have preferred to maybe see an Odobert and a Tell start. But I kind of understand why he did what he did, in terms of weather the storm, let Bodo have control of the game, that's fine, and then hold the ball up when they could. Obviously, second half, again, started quite well, got the goal, and I've been super critical of Christian Romero, super critical this season in particular, because I feel like as captain, or as one of the captains, there's been a lot of performances that haven't been good enough. When he walked down the tunnel, customer service update, when he walked down the tunnel, I can't remember what game that was, maybe it was Wolves, I just thought, like, that ain't a captain. But the contribution tonight for the goal, absolutely huge, great towering header, and obviously this is after Tell came on, and it was a really good corner, Romero rose, bang on the head, and then Solanke taps it in. We'll talk about the Pedro Porro one as well, because was it a cross? Was it a shot? let's be honest, it was a cross, but it's gone in. Keeper's got absolutely no chance, doesn't know what day it is, and it's in the back of the net, and job done. So yeah, I mean, I was absolutely buzzing. And I'll be honest, I know that you lot will say, oh yeah, you got to beat United in the final and you beat Bodo Glimt. Yeah, but like, look at the season I've had, guys. I've suffered 19 losses. Do you know how bad? Do you know how bad you've got to be to lose 19 times in a bloody season? It's a lot, okay? And we will surpass 20, whether that's against Palace or against Brighton or against Villa. We will surpass 20. And I've had a really tough time, had a really hard season, to the point we don't even cook anymore. We don't even cook me because it's just cruel at this point. So I didn't make the draw. Bodo Glimt, they were so good in Europe this year as well, and I want to give them credit too, because they knocked out Lazio, Roma, they had their game against United, Porto. Like, as minnowy as they are, they've been really good in Europe, like really, really good. And it's hard as it is to go anywhere in Europe and win away from home. And Spurs, I don't think had done back-to-back European wins since 2013, and they did that in Frankfurt, and they did that tonight in Norway on an artificial pitch, which we know that Spurs don't always like. Shout out Tamworth. And they put in a really good professional display, and Ange put in a really good managerial performance. You know, he changed it and he knew what he had to do to get over the line. And let me tell you, if he wins this trophy, and I say it as a big if because I know it's a big if, but that quote of I always win things in my second season, if he does that, that is the coldest ever. I always win things in my second season. Cups the year, mic drop, walks out the press conference, and he's on his way. And there's this little debate that we've kind of been having on air, and I guess in and amongst the fan base, that if he does win the Europa League, do you stick with him, do you sack him? I still feel like no, because I feel like what he wants to do in the Premier League is not sustainable. When you've lost that many times, you can't create that consistency that we saw the 10 games of his first season. This season there's been no consistency, and that has been down to injuries, but also even when we've had people back and everyone back at times, we've not looked improved. So for me, I still think that it should be one of those things, if you manage to get us over the line and we win our first trophy in 17 years, it's the most amazing achievement for Spurs, and it will mean everything. And like I've always said, I could actually care less about the Champions League aspect, because Spurs are not good enough to compete in the Champions League, clearly. But it will be so huge for Tottenham to just get that kind of trophy thing off our back. And I would very much just be like, okay, great. Like, shake hands, say thank you so much for your service. You've done the impossible, and let him go on his way, because I do think he is a good manager. I just think maybe the style of football isn't enough. There isn't enough leeway in it and compromise in it to be able to compete week in, week out in a Premier League season. So we've got Manchester United. You're going to see me and Flex out there. I booked my flights, I've got my hotel. Actually, this is a shout out because I am flying from Southend and I'm going back to Stansted, and I can't leave my car in Southend. So anyone that's watching, if you are a cab company, if you drive a mini cab, anything, I live in Hertfordshire, I'd be so grateful if someone, of course I'll pay you, if someone could offer their services to take me for my 7 a.m. flight on the Tuesday to Southend. But you're going to get such great content from me and Flex. I know DR are going to come out. We're going to give you the best access we can possibly get, and you're going to get so much banter from us. Flex has already started going. Already seen it. He's already tagged me in something on Instagram. So you're going to be getting this for the next couple of weeks, and you'll be getting it live out and about. I'm so excited. I can't believe that there's a possibility that my season could actually end with a European trophy. I know it's a big if based on my track record, and the fact that we've beaten United every game since 2022. Everything points towards the one game it actually matters we wouldn't do it. But I've got to be hopeful, I've got to be happy. I even wore my Spurs shirt, my green Spurs shirt to work tonight, which, you know me, I don't usually rock up in match day fits. But I felt like this is a loud train. I felt like the magnitude of tonight's event justified it. So, with that said, love you guys. What a wicked bloody weeks. Arsenal bottle it, Spurs don't bottle it, Spurs are in a final, United are in a final. I'll see you in Bilbao, and I'll see you on Monday first. Have a great weekend, guys.